Hey everybody, Ace Trainillium here. Look what we got! We got new Ultra Beasts, mate! They're kind of underwhelming in my opinion, but you know what? If you like them, that's okay. But the thing I wanted to talk about today is what type are they going to be? Because as with every Ultra Beast reveal, we've not really been told much about them apart from the fact that, hey, these Ultra Beasts exist. We don't even know their actual names. So far, all we know is that one is UB Assembly and one is UB Burst. But as we know, they're code names. They're always code names. So when it comes to the actual game, they'll have a different name, they'll have a Pokédex classification and things like that. So there's not really a lot of information on them. And also, information we don't know is what type are they going to be. So that's what I want to look at today. I want to take a look at UB Assembly. I want to look at UB Burst. I want to have a think about what type I think they might be. And then I want to pass the question off to you guys, so you guys can tell me what you think the types are going to be. So let's look at Burst first, because it rhymes and I'm sad enough to be amused by that. Now Burst looks like some kind of weird clown related candy cane jawbreaker disco ball kind of thing. So there's a strong element there that makes me think maybe it's going to be a fairy type, but then we do see it using a move that is super effective against Decidueye in the trailer. Now that makes me think maybe it's going to be part fairy, part something else. And the something else could either be the most likely ones, looking at what Decidueye is weak to. I don't see it being a ghost type. I don't see the signature move, because I assume the signature move of Burst is going to be like a stab move. It's going to be a move of the same type as the Pokemon. So it can't be a fairy type move if Burst is part fairy type, because that wouldn't be super effective on Decidueye. But at the same time, I don't see it being a ghost type. I don't see it being fire type, although if it does take its head off and its head does a little explosion, maybe that would be a fire type move. But I thought if it was a fire type move, maybe there'd be more flames and explosions, things like that, perhaps. So that leads me to believe it's probably a dark type move, because again, it's not going to be flying, is it? So I reckon it's going to be fairy and dark. That's what I think we're going to get for UB Burst. I think it's going to be a dual type, dark and fairy type. I'm also trying to think of types that the Ultra Beasts haven't been yet. The only types that have yet to feature on an Ultra Beast are normal, ground, water, fire, fairy, ghost, psychic, and ice. I mean, again, I almost said it was going to be part psychic type, but if it was fairy psychic, like Gardevoir and everything like that, like Tapu Lele, a psychic type move wouldn't be super effective on Decidueye. So I'm going to go with fairy dark for Burst. Now let's take a look at UB Assembly. Now UB Assembly is, the jokes have come out, the Donald Trump wall jokes have all come out, obviously with Gumshoos being in the same generation, and I get that some people like it because they like the idea. Like Joe was saying on the Elite Four podcast the other day that he thinks it's cool that the individual bricks have individual eyes and they might have individual minds and things like that. That doesn't really interest me. It still looks like a brick wall. I want a Pokemon to look like a creature, not like a brick wall, not like a human, not like anything. I just like Pokemon to look like creatures, really. But ultimately, I feel like, I mean, the brick, the structure of it suggests that it would be either a rock type or maybe a steel type, but I want to say that maybe it'll be the ground type, just because we've not had a ground type Ultra Beast yet. And then, I mean, based on the colour scheme, I would want to say it was a dark type, so maybe ground and dark, like Crocodile. I don't know. I like the idea that it could potentially be a steel type, purely because it uses Iron Defense in the trailer, and I know Iron Defense could be on any Pokemon, especially rock types, especially ground types tend to get Iron Defense, so it's not really indicative of its typing, the fact that it's using Iron Defense in the trailer. Kind of annoying. I mean, obviously we know this is going to be a bulky Pokemon. We know this is going to be a heavily defensive Pokemon. That's why in the trailer they didn't have it using an attacking move on the Incineroar that it's against. Although the fact that it's matched up against Incineroar also makes me think, well, it's obviously going to be either rock or ground, because that would be a good matchup against Incineroar. In fact, it's more likely to be rock, because rock resists fire, and I feel like if they put it up against an Incineroar, it might just be because that was just the other, they're not going to put it against a starter it'd be weak to, which is Primarina, if it's part ground or rock type, but it makes me think maybe the Incineroar's there for a reason, and again, they wouldn't put it against a grass type like Decidueye, because it would be weak to it. So maybe, I'm speculating based on nothing, basically, but I'm gonna go with rock and dark, so like Tyranitar's typing for this particular Ultra Beast. So I think UB Assembly is going to be rock and dark. So just to refresh, UB Assembly, wherever it is on screen, rock and dark, UB Burst, Fairy and dark. I think they're both going to be, in fact, oh my god, I've just realised that makes even more sense, because they're version exclusives, they're more likely to be at least one type similar, because if you look at version exclusive Ultra Beasts in Sun and Moon, we had Pheromosa and Buzzwole, who had the same dual typing, and then in Sun and Moon as well, we had Kartana as an exclusive in Sun, and we had Celesteela in Moon, and they were both steel types. So I do think these two will share a common type, which I'm pretty much 100% certain that because we've seen a super effective move used on a Decidueye by one of them, they're both going to be dark types. I think we're getting dark and rock for Assembly, dark and fairy for burst. But again, I want to know what you guys think, so fill up the comments, let me know exactly what types you think these Pokemon will be. Do you in fact, do you think they might be single type Pokemon? Because they don't have to be dual types. Look at Xurkitree. But let me know what you think. Hit like if you enjoy this discussion and this debate and you want to hear more about my thoughts on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon as more information comes out. And of course, subscribe so you never miss a video. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainillium. Keep on training.